Alright, I'm making this video today of how I build my baseboards or bottom boards for my beehives. It's taken me a few years to kind of figure out what I want to do, and I've looked at many different models. This one can be done basically with a table saw and a chop saw. It in my opinion, has the fewest cuts. It is heavier duty than a lot of them, but I like to ratchet them down when I move them, and typically I'm moving them by myself with a 2-cart dolly, and I just like to get it done. So basically what I start off with, each bottom board takes 2 of these. These are 13.5 inches long. They're just 2x4 studs I cut. That gives you your front and your back. Then it takes 2 of these that are 22 inches for both of your sides. And the way that I do it, so that I don't have to do a whole lot of cuts, I go through and I cut all of my boards. I take a 1x and lay it up against my guard in between my blade, so that way I get the right width that I want. And then I run each 2x4 through, and when it gets finished I end up with like this. So I have 2 of these for each side and 2 of these for each end, and that gets all of the cuts that I need on my boards. Now I'm going to set these down. One of the things that I do, it's just because that's what I like to do, on each board I will put a letter or a number. This one is G and G, and I like to keep the 2 pieces together, and that way it just makes it a little bit simpler and cleaner when I put them back together. Everything seems to fit better that way. So after I rip them, I keep them together. After you've got your boards ripped, then what you're going to do is you're going to begin to assemble it. The easiest way to do it is to take your rip boards off, flip it upside down. This gets everything where you're going to be level, be working on a level surface. You get your boards, your side boards are up with your rip part on the bottom. This is the rip part. Now the front for your landing board, it is up here at the front, and everything squares up. The rip part is down here this time, but you use this as your guide to make sure that your baseboard, your bottom board, and your landing board are all the same. So you lay it down, your backboard is up, then that flushes it out. You put in, it's best to pre-drill your holes and then to run your screws in there. I'm using 3-inch screws. I'm putting 2 at each joint. So you now have a flush landing board, and you now have a flush backboard with everything that's ready. At that point, then I cut my screen. The screen is basically 16 by 19 inches. If you fudge just a little bit, you can cut it into a 16 by into 2 pieces and get it cut into your 36, and it'll fit. You may have to play a little bit with your screen. Don't worry about it. You're a little bit forgiving here. You lay your screen down, take a marker, and you mark how far back up that you want that to be cut. So right here I have marked it, cut it, and then rolled it over. And then that fits right up into that, and that gets you your board. Then you take the mate to it, flip it up on its end, get your screen to lay down in through there like it's supposed to, and that's the other reason that I keep everything matched, is because then everything fits up in through there. And I maybe didn't get those matched because of flipping. Now when you get finished, that board, you screw it first. That rolls your edge of your wire. Then you take your side boards or your side rails, and then you lay them on each side, at least 4 down this side, at least 3 down your short. That inside board attaches to your landing board. It keeps it. Back here on the back, then you have, it'll attach through there. So that way everything is sealed up. Pre-drill your holes or you'll end up splitting your wood. When you get finished, you'll end up with a board like this. You be kind of selective of where that your rough spots are. That's basically going to be filled in by the bees with their propolis and everything, but I try to make sure that I keep as much of the area as I can. When you get that, if you use those measurements, your box will sit right up to the edge of it. Everything will set flush. Gives you your landing board here with your wire rolled up and pinched in between that other one, and that gives you a nice strong bottom board. What I like about this is it's strong enough that I can move by myself, and minimal saw cuts, minimal pieces. It is a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier than the others, but in my opinion it's worth it. Just thought I would share this with you. I have talked to some and tried to explain it to them. It's a little bit better with pictures. So hopefully this will help you out. If you have a different design, feel free to use it. Thank you.